Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Danreael. Before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into the video. What's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a story time on today's video because I got a lot of stories, and this one is really interesting because it's recent and it's a little bit crazy. First, I want to give you the backstory of everything, and then I'm going to tell you what happened. I wanted to be a CNA like for a while now, and so in 2024 I finally decided to go ahead and get things rolling, get things moving. I went to this place called the FEC. They can help fund you in your career path, like if you do a trade or something like that. So I ended up finding this place called Meds KC, and they are a accelerated program for you can become a CMT, a CNA, and they have a bunch of other little courses, like stuff that you can do in an accelerated amount of time, which means faster than most. So you're getting everything packed into 3 months fast. So sometimes being a CNA can take longer, but if you're doing it accelerated, it goes faster. So I went to school to be a CNA. I was still working my regular time job that has nothing to do with the medical field, and I was going to class Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4:30 to 9:30. That's what I was doing. Finally, I ended up graduating and being a CNA. I got my CNA license and I did 100 clinical hours. We worked in nursing homes, we worked in the dementia nursing home, we worked in memory care, we worked in rehab, and we did all that within the span of the 3 months. So I graduated in June 2024 to get my CNA. So here I am, I'm a CNA, I'm excited. You know, a CNA license, like I said, you can work in many different places. You can work in the hospital, you can work at a nursing home, you can work in the home healthcare field, meaning you go to people's houses and help them. You know, it's a lot of different little stuff you can do. You can even travel. I started to look for a job because they tell us, you know, go ahead and go get you a job because, you know, when you renew your license, you have to have at least 8 hours worked in the previous year. So I started applying to jobs on Indeed, and I'm applying to nursing homes because I want to work on the weekend because I already have a full-time job. And this place calls me back. I won't say their names because, I mean, it's really no point, but hey, I should say their name. But anyway, they called me back and they were kind of in a different location than me. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, but they was on the Kansas side of Kansas City, and where it was kind of really far. And I was like, you know what, I'm actually not interested in it because of the location. But he was like, no, we can have you working on the Missouri side, we can have you working on the Kansas side. It's actually really versatile. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet. So he's like, just come in, do your paperwork, and we'll put you on the Missouri side, which will be closer to where I live. So that ends up happening. You know, I go to my orientation, I get hired. All the people there are really nice. They gave us a welcome, you know, it was cool. Everybody cool. Basically, I was working PRN. I wasn't working part-time or full-time. I was working PRN, which means you work as you want to. And I suggest that to anybody that's becoming a CNA, a nurse, or whatever. If you don't have like full-time responsibilities with your finances, just work part-time or whenever you want to, which is what I was doing. So the company, you can pick up shifts whenever you want to, but you have to work at least 12 hours within a month time period. So let me tell y'all what happened and why I got fired. I didn't get fired because I'm a bad CNA or I'm just a bad person. No, I did not get fired because of none of that. I'm working with all these different people. Everybody's so nice. I'm going into people's homes and I'm meeting their family. I'm meeting the clients. Everybody's cool. A lot of people that I work with, they were older, like really older. And when I say older, I'm talking about like really older, like they're past 100. You know what I'm saying? Some people had dementia. Some people was hospice, meaning they were going to pass away eventually because they're terminally ill. Work with a bunch of different people. They were all nice. You know, a lot of them, they had family there when I was there with them. So it was not like I was just stranded. You know what I'm saying? I'm a new CNA. Usually when you work through an agency, which is what I was working through, I wasn't working with an actual facility. You're more experienced because you've worked in the hospitals, you've worked in the nursing homes, you did this, you did that. But I didn't do none of that. Like, I got hired through an agency. And mind you, they pulled me in. I was like, no, I don't, you know, it's too far. But they wanted me to come, okay? So, I'm trying to remember everything I learned from class because I haven't really had any, like, on the floor experience except what we did in clinicals and the book that we read. So I'm, you know, acting like I know everything that I'm doing. I got it together. I am the CNA. You know what I'm saying? So every day that I work is so humbling being a CNA, because you're taking care of someone who can't take care of themselves. So I'm doing a good job. You know, the months are going by. I would say I graduated in June 2024, and I started working for them in like August, and up until January, that's when I got fired. So I was employed with them from the fall to the winter. So there was nothing wrong on my end. Mind you, I never missed a shift. I never called in. If I scheduled something for me to work, I was gonna work it. I came through on my end, okay? I did everything I was supposed to do. So time goes by, it's January, and I end up working with this patient that was on hospice. So the patient was terminally ill, and you know, they were winding down. Like the nurse would come and they would say, you know, it's getting closer, da, 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 and, you know. So I knew like eventually this person was gonna pass away. I was working with the patient in December, and the patient was coming to an end. So January comes, and it's the beginning of January, and I book a shift, and then I book another shift. So the first one I booked was in the first week of January, and the patient ends up passing away. And I was set to work 12 hours for that shift, because that patient needed care through the night. So they were on like 2 rounds. Like someone would work 7 to 7 a.m. to p.m. and then someone would work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that's the one I was working. I was working the night shift. I was working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. with this particular client. So I love the 12-hour shifts with the agency, because that means I would only have to work once a month, which is cool with me, okay? Like I say, I'm not trying to make a full-time income, because I already have a full-time job that I work Monday through Friday. So patient passes away in January, the beginning, and that was the 12-hour shift that I was going to work. So it was no longer there, because I'm not needed, because the patient's no longer here with us. They passed away. God bless them. God rest their soul. So after that, the shifts that they had were kind of weird. Like they would only need you to be there for 3 hours or 2 hours, or someone would just need help going to the grocery store, or you know, it was like weird. It wasn't like a full-time type of schedule that they had. So you might have had to have like 5 shifts for the month to get your 12 hours. So I picked this other one, and they just didn't have a lot of stuff available. So the other one that I picked, they got canceled too, because the person didn't need it anymore or whatever, which was sucking for me, because January was winding down. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get my 12 hours. That's what ended up happening. I didn't get my 12 hours for a month, and you know, I thought everything was fine and dandy, because February rolled around. The person who was sending out the schedules, her name was Hannah. I like her, and I know she didn't fire me, because she wouldn't do that. She just wouldn't do that. I know it was not her. So I'm thinking everything cool, you know what I'm saying? I know I missed my 12 hours, and I even told them like, hey, I need an extra shift, because if I don't have one, I'm not gonna get my 12 hours. I even said that. And I can put the messages and stuff on the screen so y'all can see. But yeah, so they was like, okay, I'll send out the schedule next week so you can pick up some more, da 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 da. No schedule came the next week. And so at this point, I'm thinking like, dang, did they do that on purpose? Like, did you not send the schedule intentionally so I couldn't get it? Like, I don't know. Started thinking a little bit crazy, because I'm feeling like anxious or whatever. And so next week rolled around. Cool. I stopped hearing from the company, because they usually send out a weekly schedule of what you can pick up, which is great, because as soon as you see it, you pick what you want. You tell them like, hey, I want this and that, and they'll put you in the system for that, and you just go work it. Very easy. So I get an email talking about, you missed your 12 hours last month, and you have willingly terminated yourself from the company, da 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 da. You will be removed, da da da, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, dang, I'm fired. And mind you, let me tell you what else happened in January. In Kansas City, there was a record-breaking blizzard, okay? There was 20 inches of snow, I believe. And my parking lot in my apartment complex, first of all, they didn't come shovel the snow for a while. And I was stuck and trapped in my house for a week. Also, the way that the parking lot was, I was parked on the end of the parking lot, like the very end. Like, say this is the parking lot. I was parked right here. Whoever plowed the snow, they plowed from this end all the way to this end and left a big old mound of snow. And my car was in front of that mound of snow. And I could not get out of the parking lot. And I even explained that. I took pictures, I sent it. And it was freezing, so it's not like I could go out there and shovel that big old mound of snow in front of my car. It was ice, like brick solid. And I was stuck. There was no way for me to leave. And I didn't want to leave my house anyway. I didn't even go to my real job the whole week because there was no reason for me to go out if it wasn't like fully necessary, because I didn't want to get stuck out there or none of that. Because some people was. Some people got in accidents, they got stuck, stranded. I'm very good on that. I do smart things, okay? So yeah, that was the reason too. Like, there was a week that maybe I could have done the best I could, but I couldn't because I was actually trapped in my house. But they didn't care, and I'm just like, wow. And you want to know what the kicker is? This is the best part of the story. I got a text last week talking about, hello, Danreael, we have open CNA positions and caregiver positions. Please give us a call. Da, da, da. So you mean to tell me y'all want me back now? After you fired me for no reason? Because you didn't want to show no grace or compassion to someone who actually had reasons to why they didn't work, not just because I didn't? Now you want me back? Oh my gosh. But yeah, y'all, they want me back now, but I text them back. They didn't call me. But if they really want me back, they'll call. But I just think it's stupid that they fired me for no reason, really. Like, I had legit reasons. Patient passed away. Crazy weather, and just, you know, it wasn't no available shifts really. Like, the shifts was stupid. 2 hours in, all the way Winnetonka, Prinashanka, Pickup. Like, it was dumb. Like, it was a bad month. And mind, like I said, I never had no write-ups, no tardies, never called in for nothing. I was a good employee, so for them to fire me like that is crazy. And I feel like they was probably trying to wait. Like, they was doing that on purpose. They didn't want me there. For whatever reason, they didn't want me there. They didn't want me there. So it's cool, but yeah, I got fired. But anyways, I'm gonna continue to do my CNA job and stuff like that and work. Probably in the coming months, like in the fall, I'm gonna try to find somewhere to work, like part-time or whatever, because I do need to work this year, because I haven't, since then I have not worked. So yeah, I'll be looking for that. And of course, I love the medical field. I really want to go back to school and further my education with that, which is something I'm looking to do as well. So I can't wait for that. Like I said, anybody that want to be a CNA, try it out. It's very versatile. Everything you learn can help you with your life as well, because sometimes us as people, we have to take care of our family members, whether it's grandparents, a family member with a disability, whatever it is, and everything you learn in CNA school will help you with that. And I just want to encourage y'all to keep y'all body healthy, stay fit, fast, eat plant-based, eat more fruits and vegetables, drink your water, stay healthy, because you don't want to get into a place where you got to depend on somebody else to take care of you. Okay, so take care of yourself. Your health is your responsibility. And yeah, that was the story time of how I got fired from my CNA job. Yes, I got fired.
Boy, if you don't.
But yeah, it's all good. It is what it is. But I love y'all so much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Follow my social media, y'all. Follow my Instagram. It's at Danreael_. Follow my Snapchat at Danreael. Follow me on my TikToks, Danreael, Miss Danreael. My other YouTube, Miss Danreael. Follow all my social medias, y'all. I love y'all so much. God bless you. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.